Hello, I am Gregory, and this is what I hope is going to be a quick and happy story time. So it does start out with some bad news. This is the Monteverde MP1, Monteverde's very first piston filler. I was super excited, but I discovered that this pen has a fatal flaw. And you can kind of see something right there. And maybe even a little bit back here. So, ink can make its way into the piston and behind the piston. And I'll quickly show you how this is, or what causes this. Let's see if I can get a good visual of this. All right, so we see the piston going down. And there's a good shot of it. We have these little, I don't even know what to call them. We'll just call them stops. Because the job of these is to stop the piston from going down further. Which is all well and good. But if you're like me and have a tendency to be a little heavy-handed sometimes, it is possible, and watch very closely. So this is rubber right here. And watch what happens when the rubber presses further against those little stops. So I'm tightening it fairly hard, harder than I should. But, as you're filling a pen and, you want to do the up and down to get the maximum fill. So as you're doing this, you might have a tendency, when you get to the bottom, you might have a tendency to over-tighten it just a little bit, or even a lot. And basically what that is doing is it's deforming that rubber lip of the piston, which, as a result, allows ink into this next section, which, eventually makes it past this one and gets back here. And I don't know if we can see that. There's a lot of glare on my preview here, but it makes it back here. So I reached out to Monteverde. I was like, well, there has to be a way to disassemble the piston, because you can do that on pretty much all piston pens. Well, actually the first person to reach out to me was Brian Anderson of Anderson Pens. So shout out to you, Brian. And thank you for letting me know. It's not designed to be disassembled, and in fact, they discourage you from even attempting to do it. After some time, I did get a reply back from Monteverde, and they suggested the same thing. So, being very disappointed that my new beloved Monteverde piston fill fountain pen essentially couldn't be used, and unless I want to use that same ink, I don't even remember what ink was in there anymore. Yeah, basically it was going to be useless. So I was very, very disappointed. So when I reached out to Monteverde, It was around the holiday season, so it actually took them a little while to get back to me. But they did. And they offered to send a new barrel. That's how they put it. I received more than a barrel. I received the, like, essentially 95% of the pen. So, as you see here on, this is the original one. As you see on here, there's no nib. So, and again, this was the one that went bad. And so essentially the new one they sent me, which they made the process super, super easy. So I want to give a huge shout out and thank you specifically to Christina Perez at Monteverde slash Yafa Brands. Excellent customer service. Made the process super ridiculously easy. And yeah, so happy with them. And as you probably know, Monteverde is one of my favorite brands of pens. So yeah, so super happy with that. When I did reach out to them, I let them know what the issue is and what caused the ink getting behind the piston. So hopefully they take that to heart, and I personally would love to see an MP2. Yeah, but essentially, so they sent me a new pen. It was the complete pen, the barrel, the feed, the cap. And all I had to do was switch over the nib onto the new pen. And that was a super easy process. So again, this is just a quick video to give thanks to Monteverde and Yafa for providing excellent customer service. I did not feel that they were skeptical about my situation at all. They just you know, wanted to resolve my issue, and I appreciate that. So but yeah, so if you do have a Monteverde MP1, please be mindful of this issue. So when you lower that piston, once you feel the slightest bit of resistance, just stop. And that way you should limit the issue. Whether or not it's going to completely resolve it, that remains to be seen. So I'll probably be inking this up very soon. And because the original one, I didn't get to use it very long, and then it started having that issue. I was like, well, if I keep using it, it's just going to get worse. So I had set it aside without even using it for very long. And it's a fantastic writer. So yeah, just be mindful of that issue again if you have the Monteverde MP1. And, you know, we should be good for a while. And hopefully someday they come out with the MP2. And I will buy it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I will see you next time.